What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. It's your boy Ricky, aka Dick Chuck, aka the man behind the can at Seltzer Time Official. Here, as always, with my conversation accomplice, the man with the hunch about Worcester, Travis.
What is crackin', Fizzle Fiends? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. And as always, we are so glad you've joined us. This week on the show, we're talking to our friend Jenny Pacillo, reigning Worcester's best waitress, local voice. Oh my God, we came up with an awesome way we were going to introduce her, and I already forgot. I should have wrote it down. Local badass.
Yeah, I get what it was either. She's a doctor.
She's a doctor of pain. And before we get there, though, you know what we have to do. Hey, Ricky, how was your week?
What's up? My week was good, man. Yeah, it was a pretty solid week. We just a bunch of hanging out. I feel like we started curbside pickup at Worcester last week, nice. So that was kind of cool. Went in a couple days to help break up the day. It's shocking some of the phone calls you get from people wondering all kinds of different things. I got a phone call from a person who literally, I was like, "Good afternoon, Worcester," and they were like, "Hey, so you guys are open?" And I was like, "Well, we're only open from 12 to 4 these 3 days for curbside pickup." And the guy was like, "Okay, can I order over the phone?" I was like, "Nope, doesn't work that way. Like, you have to order online. That way it takes out of inventory and all that." And he's like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna pay with cash." And I was like, "No, like I can't do that. Like, I don't have any cash at the store, but also like
money.
You have to order online." And then I pull it, and then I just hand you a bag. Like, it was, and that wasn't the only call like that. There was a couple other ones that were very kind of confused on how the curbside pickup thing works, but a bunch of people did it. It was good. A bunch of people were great. So that was fun. I don't know. That was kind of it. I brewed my first beer over the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, brewed a beer with my buddy Sean, my buddy Mike, and it was ready to drink this past weekend. So the three of us enjoyed the beers that we had brewed, and they came out great. It's kind of like a West Coast IPA style, but kind of refreshing to drink one of those. Most things around here are like hazy as hell. It's kind of nice and have like more bitter IPA. So it was solid.
Was it cool?
I feel like that's kind of what.
Was it cool to drink something that you made though? That must be pretty.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. I guess the three like careers I've had were coffee, music, and beer. And I've never had interest in like the production side of any of that stuff. So like I worked at a drum company and I don't play drums. I don't care. I never want to. Like, it's just not a thing for me. And then working at the Dive, like I loved the idea of like selling beer, and I love drinking beer, and I love talking about beer. But every shit, somebody like, "Dude, yo, I brew beer." Like, or "You brew beer?" Everybody wants to talk about brewing beer. I'm like, I've never done it. Never had any interest. Don't care if I ever do it. And then this just kind of happened. Our buddy Sean is really interested in it and always wanted to brew one. So the three of us were like, "All right, cool, let's do it." And it was fun. Super fun, actually. So it's kind of nice to drink something that we made and like watched happen over the course of a couple of weeks, basically. But yeah.
My buddy Rockwell back home in Connecticut loves to brew his own beer, and he's been at it for a few years now. And like,
really,
I respect anybody that takes that much dedication to their craft where they start refining their recipes. And he's moved on from like the kits to actually just buying raw ingredients and like
really
own recipes. Yeah, it's neat.
Cool. Yeah, I'm sure like I would like to someday do that. Again, like it's not a thing that I'm like ever gonna devote much time to. Sorry. I thought somebody was here.
Oh.
But it was fun. It was super fun. So
yeah,
it's good. I haven't been drinking during the week, like Monday through up until Friday night, just to kind of like change up the way quarantine's been. So it's been it's exciting, like getting to Friday and being like, "Oh, I'm going to have a beer. This is dope." But I got a bunch of Honest Weight stuff. I bought a bunch of stuff at North Main, and then now we have these beers. So now it's like, what am I going to drink now that I only have like this 2-day window to drink them, and I'm not trying to get like wasted.
Right.
So it's become my new thing to think about. Like, well, if I have this night and then this night. So sorry, I can't hold on to pens to save my life yet. Every time we record at home, I hold one. Very weird. How was your week?
It was good, man. Just one last little point about that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I cannot wait until the culture of that like home brewing reaches the cannabis in like world, where home growers are now exchanging strands and talking about like, I love that whole idea of being self-reliant, making your own stuff. Like that's super, super cool. I don't know. I can get behind that.
Yeah, it's fun.
But my week was good. My mother turned 60 on Friday. Happy birthday,
Cool.
Mom.
Happy birthday.
And my dad his birthday was the week before. So we went down this past weekend. My mom did a socially distant gathering for her friends for her birthday. So there was less than 20 of us all in my parents' backyard. There was a fire. She had set up these tents in the backyard. So like people got to stay far away from each other. There was lights. There was a bunch of tiki torches.
Nice.
It was super cool. And I got to see Rockwell and his family and his beautiful wife, Christy. And I got to stare up at the stars with a 3-year-old. And I tell you, like, it's those special little moments that make you pause and realize like how much of the shit I think is important really isn't that important. And like,
yeah.
I don't know, it sounds stupid, but I wanted to just pause that moment in life and just live there for a while, because it was just so innocent and pure and just a wonderful conversation with a young mind that's learning how things work. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was great to see my fam. It was great to see my homies, and it was a good week.
Oh yeah.
It's a little bit of a family-oriented episode, aside from our language. But
yeah, right.
Like we teased off the top, this week we had our friend Jenny on.
Yeah, no, it was awesome having Jenny on. Like I mentioned in the podcast, Jenny is the only person I knew that went to neighborhood watch meetings and city hall meetings and stuff like that, and she would live tweet them, which is very much in my wheelhouse of like gaining information just through Twitter. And I would just sit there and scroll through while I was working the dive, like before we got busy. And like Jenny's also the funniest person I think I know. Like
super funny.
She's hilarious. Like, and she's always been like that. Just unbelievably funny. Like, not dry humor, but like she'll like kind of like, she can turn anything into a very fun experience without being loud and like over the top about it. So she just has such a great take on the city in general, but especially like city politics. So it's cool to like finally have her on the show and get her perspective into what's going on with city hall meetings and neighborhood watch meetings and stuff like that. She's great.
Yeah, especially following last week's episode with Bill Shaner. Like, it feels like this is the next step. Feels like even just as two creators in our city, we're getting a little bit more locally focused. And we have people like Jenny to thank for kind of like renewing or even giving us an interest in city politics.
Yeah, I think it's that type of stuff's really important too. Like you trust, like I trust somebody like Jenny, right? Where like, yes, she's making it fun and like approachable, but also it's more of a like, okay, well, if Jenny's going to this, maybe I should also go to it, or at least pay attention. If it's not for me, it's not for me. But it's interesting having people open a door like that. And like the same with Bill, where like Bill questions everything that happens in the city, where it's like, even if you don't agree with him, that voice is always in your head, like, well, why don't you like this? And then you kind of like take that and educate yourself and like form your own opinion based off of that. So it's kind of cool to have the two of them on back to back.
Yeah. So without further ado, I think we can rip into this. All right, what's happening, guys? This week on the show, we have Jenny Pacillo, the reigning best waitress in Worcester, per the Worcester magazine, and local voice in our community. Jenny, welcome to Seltzer Time.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hi.
Jenny's been on our list since like probably we first started talking about bringing guests on the show, because I always loved the fact that she was so vocal about getting votes for her Worcester magazine best of. Like that always made me, to me, the person that really wants it should get it. Like everybody else was kind of like milquetoast about it, but Jenny was like, "No, I'm the best, and everybody should damn know it." I always thought that was so awesome. So thank you
so much.
Just so, how would place to start? What is your Worcester story? Like, have you been here a while?
So I grew up in Shrewsbury, and I lived all over. Like I lived in Phoenix, and then Boston, and New York, and whenever I would like come home from any of these places, I'd always end up in Worcester. So I came back from New York, like, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. And I was like, I'm just going to stay here for a few months, like finish up at Worcester State and then get back to New York. And then I just never left. And I don't plan on leaving either.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love it. Well, my kid's dad, you know, my landlord, he owns a home here. And I live in it.
Whenever you refer to him as your landlord, I like legit. There's not many like Twitter accounts that make me legitimately laugh out loud, except for yours.
Thank you
like,
so much. He hates it.
Jenny,
He hates it so much. That's why I do it. He gets really bummed out.
oh,
So
poor Pete.
Poor Nate, like nicest human. I just like torture him like every day. That's all I've been doing during quarantine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's my landlord, and so, you know, we have a nice little house in Burncoat. Super cute.
Aww.
It's the
That's
neighborhood. Yeah.
So you've basically been in the area your entire life, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Were you employed as best waitress in Worcester?
Joey's Bar and Grill.
I've never been to your place.
So good. Have you been, Travis?
Can't say I have.
It's good. It's like everybody's parents' favorite restaurant.
Okay.
Like on the west side, it's like I know so many people's parents. It's really funny.
Huh.
They just come in and like party. It's a really fun restaurant.
Okay.
Cool.
It's over by Foley Stadium, right?
Yeah, it's like in a strip mall, which is kind of weird. And you're like, why would I go there? But then you go and it's like all the waitresses have been working for Joey and his wife for like 10 years, 15 years. They're all like crazy. You know what I mean? It's really fun. One of them works at Miss Worcester.
Okay.
Oh.
You'd know if you saw her, but she's so nice.
Nice.
So it's fun. It's a fun time.
Oh, yeah. So if I ever decide to go to restaurants again, I'll go to Joey's.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Hopefully soon.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So as best best waitress in Worcester, what do you feel makes a good waitress? Like what qualifies you?
I think it's getting to know like your guests. Joey's has like a huge regular crowd, and so these are people that will like bring us cookies at Christmas, and like everyone like celebrates together, and like, you know, it's just really nice. It's almost like a family. Like, that sounds so corny, and like I've never said this about any other restaurant, but it really is, because like, you know, everyone, they bring their kids and their grandkids, and it's just a really nice atmosphere when you're friends.
That's cool.
It's cool. And you got to know, obviously, like how to carry a tray.
The thing I can't do.
Yeah, the hardest thing.
The only restaurant job I ever had in an actual restaurant was when I worked at Armsby. So like trying to carry a tray with like different size like beer glasses and martini glasses and water, and I was like, I can't do this. Like I also like had no interest in being a server, so I was holding the tray like this, and like all the girls were like walking around with like the one-handed like move, and I'm like, fuck, like
right, like a lunch tray, like you're in the cafeteria.
Yeah, you can't do that. Like I don't want to break all this shit, because that's what's gonna happen if I start walking around like this.
It's the worst when a tray drops and you have a million drinks and you're just like, I want to die.
Have you ever dropped a tray?
Mm-hmm. I've dropped trays.
Oh,
You just want to like, it just sucks. It sucks so hard. It
that's,
sucks just as bad as you can imagine.
yeah. Oh,
That sounds awful.
oh,
It's stressful, right? It's stressful to think about.
it is a little stressful.
So I'm officially out of waitress questions, but we didn't bring Jenny on just because she's a waitress. For anybody that follows Jenny Danger on Twitter, you know that she has one of the hottest Twitter accounts in the city.
The hottest.
Seriously.
Whoa.
I'm a big fan of her takes, her perspective, and she's pretty vocal about her feelings on what's going on locally, and she wants to pass it on to some of our local leaders. I've been so impressed. One, I have not made it through a 3+ hour one of those meetings. I can't. I just lose interest.
They make it that way on purpose, I swear.
Like,
So wait, so how did you get involved in going to like any city meetings?
Well, I started with my neighborhood watch meetings 2 years ago. So it was like, there's like a Burncoat Facebook group, which is insane.
I was just saying, I can only imagine how lit that is.
Join it. It's crazy. It's like
Okay.
a real roller coaster. So I'm like on this group because I'm super nosy, and a bunch of people were having their cars broken into. And they'd be like, there's gangs of kids, 15 kids walking through the streets at night, blah, blah, blah. Like, people are losing their shit, right? It's like, oh, this is nuts. Just lock your car. How about that? Lock your car. Not a big deal. What's even in your car? 50 cents? Who cares? They're going nuts. Yeah, like CDs. Like, you don't even have CDs anymore. So they were like, okay, we're all so upset. Everyone's talking about this neighborhood watch meeting in the Francis Perkins Library basement. And I'm like, well, I'm obviously going to go to this, okay? Because I need to see like what's going to shake out. So I go to everything alone. I don't like to go with people. Go by myself. I'm like, the basement of the library is packed. It's all these like boomers just losing their shit. They're like, people, this is what they said, was that people can get some kind of device that when you unlock your car, it will pick up that signal and put it in their device. Then they'll come back later and unlock your car. So they're literally just like, keep your keys in your freezer. And there are these 2 cops, because every neighborhood meeting is run by police. And these cops are just sitting there like so bummed out. They're just like, no. Like, it's probably one person just walking through the neighborhood, just jiggling handles. That's it. And all these like old dudes are like, no. And I saw, and it's, Lincoln Village is like, they're dropping that a lot, which is like, we get what you're saying. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, so after that meeting, I was like, I'm never going to miss this again. I haven't for 2 years until quarantine hit. I went to every neighborhood meeting for Burncoat for 2 years straight, like pregnant, in the snow, dragging my kids. I had Bixby. 2 weeks later, I was at my neighborhood meeting. Like, they had presents for me. So none of them were that exciting again. There was one that was exciting. Every 8 meetings, you'll get something that's like, I don't want to say worth it. It's always worth it, but I've never seen a meeting like that again. It's the same 12 people.
So when you go to these, do you say anything, or are you just there to like get entertained for, a couple hours?
No, Nate makes fun of me for this all the time. Like, I don't have complaints in the neighborhood. Like, I think it's really like a very pleasant place to be.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think I've ever complained. When I was running for best waitress, I promoted myself. I announced it there.
Did you really?
Yeah, they were just like, you're so stupid, dude.
That's all. You probably went at that point for a whole year, didn't really say much, and then got up to the mic and be like, I'm running for best waitress and I would really appreciate your vote.
That's exactly what I did.
That's incredible.
I just sit in the back. I mean, like, I have friends now. Like, I've made a couple really nice friends that I wouldn't have known normally. But I just sit there and, like, tweet.
Oh, dude.
Listen.
Okay, so I probably wouldn't even know that there were such thing as like neighborhood watch meetings in Worcester.
No one knows.
Outside of being at the dive and working and it not being like, I mean, it's relatively early in the night. What time do you go? Like 7 or 8 or something like that?
6, it's like 6-ish.
6-ish? Okay, so
It's
yeah, so
early.
right when nothing would be going on, I would just refresh Twitter until people would walk in. And the night of the meeting, I would always look forward to it because it would just be you live tweeting this like neighborhood watch meeting, and I was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to Twitter ever.
Everyone should go. There's so much. I mean, it's not convenient. Like it is. They don't make it convenient, and I feel like they don't really make it super well known.
Yeah.
Which is irritating, right? Because they're like, oh, everyone should make friends with the police. Like, get to know your police officers. And it's like, the 2 cops who run it are super duper nice, you know, but I've also been going for 2 years. Like I bring my kids sometimes and they're, you know, they give the kids stickers. So it is good. Like if I ever got in trouble, I would definitely drop this cop's name.
I don't know if you know me, but like I brought light to the neighborhood meeting, so what's up?
I'm neighborhood watch Jenny. Come on.
Like, oh shit.
That should have been my introduction.
Oh, sure. Well, all right. So let's go back. So this week on the show, so you've been live tweeting the neighborhood watch, and then you've been live tweeting the town council meetings as of late, right?
Yeah, I've started to pay more attention to those. Like I would go once in a while. Like, have you guys ever gone to the city council meetings?
City council, town council.
Same thing. They're
no.
weird. I mean,
I've never been.
You went to the Powell one, probably.
I went to one, and it's because they recognized something that we did, and we got the mayor. But again, we didn't actually sit there and listen to the whole thing. They just kind of paraded us out, took a picture, and then back. It was basically a reason to hang out with Dan Rassicott for a minute.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah, I'll take any chance I get.
Have you guys interviewed him?
Not yet.
He's elusive.
He likes.
That's. I'm like, I want to have him on now, but I also am like, should we wait till he retires? That way we can get like the real story.
Yeah, unedited.
I want that. Like, there's a lot of things I've heard from hanging out with him when he's not working that I'm like, I want to talk about this. I want that perspective on the podcast, but I know that we can't do that at the
I
moment.
know. That's the same with AJ Pottle, who runs the meetings. Like, he's the nicest human, and he's so interesting in like a bunch of other ways too. But I feel like it's tough when you work there. You can't really say your opinion.
Yeah, you have to.
Guessing.
Which makes sense.
It does.
Have you been, okay, so back to the city council meetings. Mm-hmm. Did you ever go to those like in person, or did you get involved now?
No, I've been to a few. Like, I remember there was a powwow one where people, I can't quite remember the reason, but I went just because like so many of my friends have done powwow. And then I went to the one about recycling, about the city switching over to no plastic. That one was really weird. I don't know, it's like the same people go. So like you go and sit in the balcony and there's just like a guy that sits there and like does like a crossword puzzle. Like I want to be that guy. Like once this is all over, I want to really start going for real. It just sucks because it's like 6:30 on a Tuesday and it's like you got to make dinner and it's, you know, weekly. So it's kind of hard to keep up, but nothing else to do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start going.
I'll sit with you.
Yes, let's do it. This is going to be great. We'll live tweet it.
I'll just, read your Twitter feeds. It saves me the time.
It's like these things are so boring except when they're not. And then you're just like, I'm so glad I'm here to like see what's happening. That I remember at the powwow one, it was like the public comment section and some guy got up and I think there was like a city pipe that had been exploding in his backyard or something. And he's tried, like, it seemed like he had tried like many different avenues and no one was helping him. So he came to this meeting and he was like, there's shit in my backyard. Like, there's shit. And he was just like losing his mind because here's a pipe, like trashing his yard. No one will help him. And all the counselors were like, okay.
Okay, we'll take care of it.
Yeah. Like, it's kind of cool to see who goes.
Yeah. We talked like last week on the podcast about how my first ever city council involvement was 2 weeks ago when they were talking about the police budget and stuff. And I feel like most people I know sat home that night and like watched the live stream, which is like the weirdest thing ever. If you were to tell me like 4 months ago that like, A, you're trapped at home, B, you're not going to be going to restaurants, and C, you're going to be really invested in a city council meeting along with everybody else you're friends with.
Isn't it cool?
It's awesome. I had like multiple group chats going with like people being like, fuck this. Like everybody was losing their mind. I was telling Shaner, I was like, dude, it felt like I was watching a Bruins game where I was like, oh, here we go. And then like one of them would say something stupid and I was like, that's our shit.
Yeah. And like you'll see people pop in and it'll be like, Ricky Nelson has joined, like random people who I'm like, Buddy Caloran's here watching this. Like I would never have guessed it. It's so much fun just to see like and then like Brian O'Donnell and his
he runs that like Facebook comment section. It's a beautiful thing.
He's so funny. Yeah.
He's the best. I have like people were sending me screenshots of like things he was saying, but it was funny. I would have the live stream playing either on like the iPad or my phone, and like Naomi would be on her phone like watching the comment section. Like we had the whole thing covered. It was awesome.
It's so funny. So many people would do the same. They'd be like, who's Brian O'Donnell? I see that you're friends with him. And just it'd be a clip like Mo Bergman eats poopy or something like so ridiculous. And I'm like, I don't know. Ask my daughter. She's feuding with Brian right now. She's on his list.
All right, we'll totally get there. I definitely want to cover that stuff, but I just want to lean in hard on this stuff because I love seeing how many younger voices are getting interested in city politics. Like local politics has always been an older person's game to me. It bores the hell out of us youngers. I love it. And the fact that there's no competition with sports, I think is potentially an interesting kind of point to make where like there's nothing else to do. So let's get pissed about something.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love it. Like local politics has always been really big for me just because it is like, it directly affects your day to day.
Yeah.
And like say like one of you ran, like you could make a huge change just like here in Worcester, and that's awesome. But I feel like they make it boring on purpose.
They do. Yeah, for sure. But to that note, like, I don't know if either one of us would ever run, but I did have a friend reach out last week. So it was funny. I had an Instagram story like typed up on the Seltzer Time account where it literally was like, hey, if any of you want to run, let us know. And like, I don't ever want to run, but I 100% am down to like market the fuck out of somebody that I believe in to the point of it being like, what the heck is going on? Like, why is this all talks about? And then I was like, I don't know, like, let's wait and see what happens. So I posted something else. And like literally the next day I had a friend reach out that was like, hey, I'm seriously considering running next year. Would you run my social media? And I was like, oh my God, yes. And it's like a person who is definitely passionate about the city and about what's going on right now. And I was like, this is fucking perfect.
I think it would be so fun. Like, I don't know if I could run. Like, I don't like.
That was going to be my question is when Jenny runs and wins, how do you change it to not be so boring?
I've been thinking about that for years. I've literally been like I love Sean Rose. So he's my district. I'm in District 1. So I would never, ever run against Sean Rose. I think he's great. So I don't know. I'm like, it'd be fun to run and just turn it into a circus and have it be like, I'm cutting promos. I'm putting out videos of Clementine. I'm like, I don't know. I just think it'd be fun to make it like the Worcester magazine competition where it's like, just have fun with it. I mean, obviously I would take it super seriously, but just to get people engaged.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, now that I have much more like interest involved in it, and like watching the way like you single-handedly made me interested in fucking neighborhood watch meetings, and I've never went to one, I never cared, but like we're going to be moving shortly, and I'm pretty sure that like now my goal is to start going to those neighborhood meetings just to be like, A, I want to be involved, and B, Jenny made this so cool, like I want to be like as much as possible. But I also think that like by giving people that outlet of being like, well, if Jenny's going to this one and if Ricky's going to this one, like I should go to mine, and like then we've got at least, you know, a handful of voices involved in a handful of neighborhoods in the city. It's got to start somewhere.
Any neighborhood watch meeting that I've been to, like when people complain enough, like even if it's just, I want a speed sign on Clark Street. People drive so fast, right? Like that's a big problem because it's like everyone that goes is a lot older than us.
Yeah.
Like I'm the youngest person there. Sometimes Brian O'Donnell and his girlfriend Jess will go, but like I'm the youngest by like 20 years and I'm almost 40. Okay. So it's like crazy. But like whatever they complain about gets done. Yeah. No matter what. Like, so, I mean, if we were to all start going and saying like, hey, like, let's talk about this school or this playground in this neighborhood, you know, I feel like so few people go that they're just like, whatever, like, we'll fix it. Shut up.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, and it's politics and everything. Shit's done by the people that show up.
Like, it's true. You have to show up. You have to show up.
Yeah.
So if
like it's fine to do like the whole like Twitter rant thing, but like you don't accomplish. At the end of the day, we're not accomplishing anything by demanding on Twitter that like the Columbus statue goes down. You know what I mean? Like you have to actually go
and tear it down.
It's that way, but what?
Yeah. Like we'll tear it down.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm taking this fucking thing down.
Have you started your elf sculpture yet, Ricky?
So it was brought to my attention yesterday by Scott Zobak, fucking legend, that even though I have always thought that like there's no way Alf could be problematic, aside from him eating cats, there's actually a leaked video of like a blooper reel of the guy who voiced Alf saying like some pretty nasty shit, like while they're not recording. He like made like sexual comments at like his co-stars, like as Alf. He said some pretty bad words for Alf to be saying. So that was brought to my attention. I haven't seen this video, but I read through the entire article, and I was hoping for the video to be like, wait a minute, like what the heck? So now that I know that even Alf has a problematic history, I don't know. I feel like I have to go straight back to the Beanie Babies. Like, make Beanie Babies great again, which for the last 4 years has become this thing where anytime people see Beanie Babies, I get fucking tagged in their posts. No matter what. I
think of you when I see Beanie Babies at like yard sales.
Yeah, you're not the only person. Trust me. The meme of like the couple in the 90s who, when they got a divorce, had to like figure out where their Beanie Babies go gets sent to me weekly. For 4 years now, this has been my life. And I did it to myself, and I know that, but like, I've seen the meme.
I'm going to start sending the meme weekly just myself. Have you seen this?
Oh. Have you seen this?
You date it and just forget every week. There's a neighbor.
So maybe we make a Beanie Baby statue, because like Beanie Babies aren't problematic. They just, never became the secret gold mine that we thought they were going to.
That's true. I mean, yeah, maybe Beanie Babies. It's hard to find anyone who isn't like a dick at some point.
I know. Yeah. Sad.
It is. But I mean, like, nobody's safe. We were talking about before the show. Like, a lot of our local wrestlers apparently got ravaged by shit that they used to say, and now they're gone, right? That's what you were saying?
Yeah, it's going down with like in the wrestling world, and then you're like, it sucks, right? Because you're just like there's this one wrestler, David Starr, who I like loved, he's like the Bernie Sanders of wrestling, and he was fighting for unions for wrestlers and healthcare, and really like, I mean, he was awesome. I saw him in like a barbed wire match that was disgusting. He was my favorite wrestler. And then, you know, one of his ex-girlfriends put out a statement and put out videos, and it's like, and you feel so bad for these women, right? You're just like, well, you had to go through this. That's terrible. But then you're just like, I really like this guy. But then, like, am I a jerk? You know what I mean? I'm like, obviously, like, got to put a lot of t-shirts, like, in the back of my closet now, kind of. It's just crazy.
It's hard because it's like, you don't want to take away from what somebody else went through, because obviously, like, they had to deal with it firsthand. But thinking about trying to give some people the benefit of the doubt, where it's like, yeah, you were a shit person, but like, you learned from your mistake, and like, now you're fighting the good fight, even though you didn't fight the good fight as a child. You know what I mean? Like, it's like kind of hard.
People are so complex, and like, I think cancel culture is great in a lot of ways, like totally, like when someone's like a rapist or disgusting or racist, like 100%. But like you said, like, people change and people grow, and it's really hard when someone's like, well, look at this interview they did 15 years ago, when like, we all know like the language 15 years ago and the culture was completely different. It just stinks that, I don't know, people weren't more like woke in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
Or the early 2000s.
People weren't even woke like 4 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of people still aren't woke.
I mean, I'm thankful that we didn't have social media when I was a kid, because I know I said some really stupid shit, some awful shit that wasn't funny. I thought it was funny then. It's definitely not funny. And I'm glad I didn't put that down into words and then out on the internet. But I'm sure there's times, I'm sure I'm on record somewhere saying something stupid, because I've said a lot of stupid shit. I'm a stupid asshole. That says
stupid asshole.
No, but I mean, that's my point. Like, everybody, to your point, every person is complex, and we've all said dumb things at dumb times. And I don't know, at a certain point, when do we start giving people, not necessarily the benefit of the doubt, but like, if you're owning that you were wrong then and you're grown now, does that forgive it? I don't know.
I know. I think about stuff like that all the time, like, because like, obviously I grew up in the 90s in a small, like, Shrewsbury's a pretty small town, like West Boylston, you know, like you, Ricky, it's whatever. It's like towny crap all the time, and you don't really learn. I mean, like, I had a great education, but I wasn't learning, I feel like, maybe necessarily like the right things. And then when I went to Clark, for my master's when I was like 35 or 34, and I had to take a class called like examining your race, like examining your whiteness.
Oh, cool.
And it like blew my mind. And I'm a pretty like liberal, like I'm like a regular person. I couldn't believe it. And like, originally when I had to take the class, I'm like, I'm paying like $25,000 for a year. Like, I just want to learn how to teach. Like, and we took this class, and it was the best class I ever took.
That's awesome.
I wish like everyone could just take it before they start running their mouths about like all lives matter and blue lives. It's like, take this one class, it was a week.
Yeah.
You know, like $5,000, that's okay, just take it. Like, but it was cool, because I remember the first question was like, when did you become aware of your race? And I was like 34, and I was like, I don't know, like never, like I never thought about it, right? Which is obviously a horrible privilege, but it was a really cool class.
That's crazy.
Yeah, actually, I had an interesting, that small towny vibe. I went home this past weekend to see my mom for her 60th birthday, and she had a small socially distant gathering. And one of the neighbors that I've grown up with, or I've known this dude for a good chunk of my life, had a conversation with him about what's going on. And he's like, it's pretty good up here in the Northeast. We don't have a lot of those BLM types. And I just went, oh. He's like, because it's probably good around here. And I'm like, yeah, that's...
It's going to go anywhere else.
Some people's perspectives. And I just walked away. I was done talking. And that's not even... Oh, I just remembered oh my God. All right. That's not, I'm going to say it now. It's not even the worst thing I saw down in Podunk, Connecticut. I saw there's CCDL, which is the Connecticut Civil Defense League. They love their pistols. But on the other side of this car was a long rifle. I don't know the type, but underneath it, it said, "Black Guns Matter." And like, I couldn't fucking believe it. And I'm like, where's anybody to kick this dude's teeth in? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I feel you on the small towny vibes. And like, I don't know when I recognize my race. That's a very interesting question.
It's an interesting question, right? But if someone were to say that to you in middle school or high school, like maybe you'd have a different mindset than like black guns matter. Like,
Yeah.
Just take it.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I grew up in West Boylston, like, which it's funny talking to people now that I grew up with, because like some of them are actual adults and have like, you know, a pretty well-rounded like view of things. And there's just still that like really loud pocket of people that are like, they never left West Boylston. They never, or, you know, whatever small town they grew up in, like they never left this small town. Everything is like the opposite to them than it is to like anybody else in the world. Like,
it's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really weird because then like I look at it like it's the same. Like I'll see kids from my high school on Facebook, like Dan Rascott and I graduated together, and he's like the best, right? And then you see other kids who will be like just saying the most fucked up shit, and like we all had the same education, like we all lived in the same town. It was like, how did you go so far this way? But then I mean, I don't know. It just is. It's really crazy to see. It's a bummer.
It is
a bummer.
All right.
That's like the best phrase for everything.
Let's pick this back up because there was something we teased up before, and I'd love to touch before we end this with Jenny. You're a big wrestling fan.
Huge.
And it seems like it's gone on to your offspring, and that they too, specifically your daughter, has turned into a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
And she's calling out a local bully.
She does not like bullies, and she won't stand for it. She sticks up for people. I'm big on advocating. So
yeah,
he's called out Brian O'Donnell publicly.
Brian O'Donnell, you better watch yourself, buddy, because Clemens is coming for you.
The guy's a meatball.
Guy's a meatball.
Brian O'Donnell's a meatball. I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna see if I can't put in a little sample of the video right here.
Clementine, what's up?
Hi, Archie. That meatball, Brian O'Donnell. Yeah, again.
You know what I did that it was a big mistake? Like, I graduated from Clark with a master's in teaching. My bachelor's is history. Okay, so there's no teaching jobs for history teachers because no one wants to leave their history teaching job. It's not on the MCAS, right? So do whatever you want. There's no accountability. So fine, whatever. So I like graduate and I'm like, cool. Like I can't get a fucking job within like 45 minutes of Worcester. So then I accidentally get pregnant because like, listen, use birth control. Like I can personally vouch for this. So I get pregnant and I'm like waitressing at this point. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do like for myself is watch every Raw pay-per-view from 1998 to modern day.
Oh yeah.
So I'd waitress, I'd be so tired. I would just watch 90s wrestling all day. And you want to talk about cancel culture? Like watch 5 minutes of any Raw from 1998 and you're going to like, it was on TV.
Yeah. That was like my wrestling peak was like 98 to like 2002. That was my wrestling.
So good. That's a really big chunk. But I was watching like, probably 5 hours of wrestling a day on average, which means I was going higher than 5 hours and also lower. And so then with Clementine, I mean, I just feel like it's in her genes.
It is.
Like it shaped her to like, I don't know. It's crazy. So she has like, she's a wrestler.
Clearly.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time we've talked about Clementine on the show, actually, because when we had Molly on, we talked about their film that they had worked on together, where Clementine and, oh my goodness, I forget her daughter's name. Dylan, thank you. They were part of it. They were used in the scene. And then I also saw that they just had a play date over the weekend, and they had a socially distant play date, and I thought that was super sweet.
Oh my God. We actually went to, you guys know Jared Going. You must, right?
Probably.
He works at Whole Foods. He's really great. So we went to their house. Clementine has 3 friends. It's
That's what I need.
Dylan, Dee Dee, Margot, and then Maddie. So, and she hasn't seen any of them, and she'll cry sometimes at bedtime, because we would hang out a lot, right? Like, I love to hang out. So she saw her little friend and they both had their masks on. So I'm like, what's right? Like, I don't know what's right to do. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like to keep kids from other kids, it's a bummer. I don't want anyone to get sick. So we were trying to do it, like, do all the right things, but it was really cute. They played. They're such dorks.
Who's Clementine's favorite wrestler?
She is, okay, so when I was pregnant, they say if you play one song to your stomach, over and over and over, when the baby's born, if you play it, they'll calm down. So I would always play her the Big Show intro. Well,
it's the Big Show.
I don't know why I chose that one.
Does it work?
Those random.
Nothing calms her down. Things don't amp her up higher. There's no calming her down.
You probably can't pick wrestling entrance music. That's gonna get her going. It's like
his is kind of chill though. It has that I would say John Cena, because he has 2 children's books that are awesome.
Oh, cool.
He quotes. It's just never ever give up, basically. He's this little monster truck called Elbow Grease. And when I was pregnant with Bixby, I didn't want anyone to know his name. So we would tell Clementine his name was John Cena. So our parents, if you guys ever have kids, just don't get involved with anybody, okay? Because you'd be like, what's the name? What's the name? So we wouldn't tell anyone. And Clementine they'd say, well, Clementine will tell us. And so she'd always say, it's John Cena. Even after he was born, she still call him John Cena.
that's awesome.
I always tell this story. We go to S&S, the butcher, for food. Yeah. I try to shop there instead of Price Chopper. And so carrying Bixby in the cart, and he's new, and Clementine's all excited, and the guy was like, hey, Clementine, you're a big sister. And she was like, yeah, John Cena eats mommy's boobies. And we're just she thought that was his name, and he was at the time. So it's not a lie, but it just kind of sucked. 50-year-old man this.
Dying over here. That's hilarious.
That's so good.
Wrestling is a big part of our lives. They don't watch it. I don't let them watch wrestling.
Too early.
Yeah.
Too early.
Respect.
Yeah. My dad didn't really want me watching wrestling, and I was I don't know, 14 or 13 or something. But whatever. That's so.
I feel like when I was a kid, they used to be on Saturday mornings. So when the cartoons stopped, I can pick up a wrestling, a highlight reel or something.
Oh, really?
Yep. I remember those days.
That's cool. I just remember watching it at my buddy Greg's house all the time. This was before SmackDown started.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yes, 98.
Yeah. Because SmackDown started, 2000-ish?
I think it was 99. Yeah, 99 or 2000.
Okay. Because I remember that was a huge deal. I don't know. All I cared about was Stone Cold and the Hardy Boys and DX.
Yeah.
Are you watching AEW?
No.
Because Matt Hardy's on there now.
Really?
Broken Matt Hardy, yeah. And Billy Gunn.
Badass.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite entrance music of all time.
Me too.
I know all of the words to that song.
It's so good.
It's the best. If I ever, for some reason, get a band and we play out, that's gonna be the one cover song we do.
Everyone loves it. They play it on the Sports Hub all the time, and I like go
No, I know.
crazy.
It's so good.
It's but like, okay, wouldn't it be fun just like bring it back? Like if you're running for city council and they're like, okay, there's going to be a debate tonight. Not like they ever do, but like Talk of the Commonwealth did it. And you just show up, like I show up with like a boom box on my shoulder and hit play, and it's like, like who's not going to vote for me? Like
the idiots.
Everyone else
be far more
walks in
interesting.
right? I get so mad because like I go to things and like I waitress, like I see everybody, like I see you guys, and like no one can even just be like, hey, it's so cool that you're here tonight. Like, you know what I mean? Like we went to the Talk of the Commonwealth, did it like a debate at Redemption Rock, and I went with my friend Kevin, and it's like, you know, like we left our kids at home with like our spouses and we made it there, and no one, like they all just stick together. They're so cliquey.
Yeah.
Because they know they're going to get voted in no matter what, which is like fine. But like, don't you want to like meet people and be like, hey, it's so cool that there's 15 people here. Like you can't take time to just be like, what's up?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, I don't know. I would love it.
But that's the thing though. Like now we can change that. If we get people in that are like younger and understand, I don't know, simple marketing of being like, hey, what's going on? Like that's gonna stick with you.
Yeah, like
They don't even have to be younger if they just understand how to talk to the next generation of people and like are willing to do the actual deeds and not just do the show shit.
That's the thing. I don't understand. Like everyone's so defensive, and I get it. Like you think a certain way, and now that's being like challenged. But how hard is it just to say, okay, like you know what, like Kate Toomey, right? Like she like, loves the police, and that's all fine and well. But maybe just take some time to say, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to sit and take notes, and I'll listen, and I'll respect what people are saying because they've had different experiences than me. And maybe like bring that into like your decision making instead of just be like, no. Like I don't get that mentality at all. Why are you in city council then? Stay home.
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes me so mad. Just listen.
It's really not that hard.
No, right? Like you guys do it. You guys are doing it right now.
I don't think I'll ever run for politics though.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't.
You'd have to give a lot of yourself. I don't
I
know.
have to tuck my shirt in a lot more, and like that kind of sucks.
Change that shit. Fuck it.
That's right. No, don't tuck your shirt in. You're you.
Oh,
Fuck in.
I'm a nice man.
I thought you were going to come back shirtless. I thought it was going to be like a costume change.
No, I'm a nice man.
I'll do that in post. I'll add it and have you come back on.
It's your ass. I started making the kids wrestling costumes like during quarantine, and I want to do Bixby like Mr. Ass because he has cloth diapers. They're like different colors, but I'm like, is that like not okay? Like I don't know.
No, it's perfect.
Is it Mr. Heine? I mean, I would go even like Mr. Dupa. I don't know. Go a
That'd
funny
be
name for
cute.
fun.
Mr. Baby Butt.
Baby butt. That'd be so funny.
That sounds funny as hell.
Remember Val Venus?
Yup. He
was another one that entrance music, so good.
So good. With the towel.
Yeah.
There were so many good entrance songs in the 90s.
I used to have like the CDs that had them on, like the WWE Volume 3. Whatever the green one was, that one had, I think that one had Mr. Ass's music on it.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Then they started hiring real bands, and then that was real cool.
Yeah, when they'd be at like WrestleMania, they'd be playing like CM. It's like In Living Color would be playing CM Punk's intro.
It's so sick. Who had the kid? Was it Undertaker? He was Kid Rock for a little while.
Yep. Yeah. Keep rolling.
So good.
And then he'd come in on the motorcycle, and he was the American Badass.
Yep.
So good. Just rewatched WrestleMania 30.
I
He
fell
what?
off when it was just the bells for Undertaker, and it was all the darkness, and I didn't see him on a motorcycle.
He was.
Yeah, he. Hey, Travis, you should get the WWE Network and watch every Raw on pay-per-view from 1998 on. It puts you in a weird headspace.
I like stuff like that in the background when I work, so why not?
Yeah, it's perfect for that because it just come in and out.
Maybe that's what I'll do. So like, there's a really good chance we're gonna have like a winter quarantine again. So maybe I'll just devote that quarantine to watching wrestling videos.
You should.
Naomi's gonna be so stoked.
She'll love it. Nate loved it too. He would just feel like, okay.
Here we go again.
See, I love that. You're redefining gender biases because the wife loves wrestling and the husband's like, okay, whatever. Fuck yeah, that's awesome. That's empowering.
It's so empowering. I mean, that's the only thing. Otherwise, it's strictly traditional in this house. Because he's the landlord, so I have to do all the chores.
Happens.
Hey, what are you gonna do?
Yep. He's gonna be the nicest landlord of all time.
I don't know. Listen, check my Twitter. I'm trying to get like a different image of Nate out there.
The real image of Nate.
Yeah, the real Nate. Nicest person on the planet.
Nate Fisk unfiltered. Jenny, this has been absolutely wonderful. How do people find you on the interwebs? What's the best place for you?
I guess Twitter. I think it's Dr. Jenny Danger. Let me look.
I think it is Dr. Jenny Danger.
I'm not a doctor.
I don't know.
I just thought that would be funny. Yeah, Dr. Jenny Danger. Hey, email me, text me. I don't care. I'm not doing anything. People can reach me any way they want. I'm very available to talk.
That's awesome.
I'm always around.
The doctor's funny. I put an R, like the registered trademark thing after my name because I thought it'd be funny instead of the blue check mark. Nobody ever asked me about it.
Oh, that's cool.
I like that idea. You guys should get a blue check mark for Seltzer Time.
Someday. We gotta up the Seltzer Time Twitter. That's like, it's a thing we made and we didn't really use it, and then we started using it recently. Like, we have gained more, like way more followers than we had before, but
it's hard to keep up.
It is hard to keep up.
It sounds dumb, but it kind of is.
Yeah. I just gotta like set some time aside each day to tweet.
Twitter time.
Yeah, Twitter time.
Shitter time.
If we heard that, she'd be like, "You're on Twitter all day. What are you talking about Twitter time? Every time is Twitter time." I'm like, I know, but like, there's like the Dick Chuck Twitter time, and there's a Seltzer Time Twitter time.
Mm-hmm.
And then where does Instagram fit in? I mean,
yeah, right. Like,
you guys have your work cut out for you.
It's not easy. Hard.
It's not easy.
So awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jenny. And hopefully we'll see you either on a ballot somewhere or in the ring.
Yeah,
I'll be around. I'll have my mask on. You guys will see me. Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun. Can you say hi, Ricky? Hi, Travis.
Hi.
Hi. We love your videos.
The whole squad.
They like your videos.
Oh, makes sense.
Hi, Clementine. Hi, Bixby.
Want to make a movie for Travis and Ricky? And you can drink a seltzer later, okay? A bubbly water? Well, you're silly. You are so. Oh, show him your drink.
Yes. Good choice.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
I'm like waiting to hear like the Big Show's entrance music.
Well, it's a big show.
So again, thank you so much, Jenny, for coming on. That was awesome. It was great, to hear your perspective of why you started going to meetings and kind of like, what got you excited about that first meeting and then led you to go to every single one of them for 2 years now or something? Is that what you said? 2 years?
Yeah. And I respect my friends that go to concerts by themselves. Now Jenny's going to these meetings, but Neighborhood Watch by herself, just going and tweeting and then that's all super, super cool.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me hope for community. And like, that's the truest form of what community should look like.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, I live tweeted I watched this like Warped Tour 2003 documentary. Not many people interacted with my tweets, which is totally fine. I didn't expect people to, but it was also like, I've never live tweeted anything, but I follow a lot of things that are like live tweeting games and stuff like that. It was so much fun, and like it made me enjoy watching it a lot more, because you're kind of like yes, I'm watching it because I'm entertained by it, but also I got to pick apart something that happened 17 years ago. But the idea of her going to town hall meetings and live tweeting those, I feel like you pay more attention to what's going on, because you're waiting for like what's the next tweet going to be? Like, how do I frame something that is, potentially as boring as a neighborhood watch meeting and make it entertaining for the people who follow me? So I would actually be really interested in going and live tweeting some stuff like that.
I will follow. You will save me the time, like I said in the interview. I mean, I could see myself in a few more years getting interested in city politics, but at the moment, my attention is so just dragged and competed for too often that I can't see myself dedicating that much time to one of those types of meetings.
Really? I'm the opposite right now. I'm very much like I have no interest in going to a concert, which I'll talk about in the Stokes and Pokes. I have no interest in going to any of that stuff, realistically through the end of the year, unless there's a drastic change in everything, which I don't see coming in a positive light. But when things like it's town meetings and stuff like that do kind of re-pop up, that's something that I think I'm going to probably start going to. I probably won't go every week, but I would like to go.
Sure.
Check them out and get involved. That way, when I have to fight with the internet trolls, at least I'm a little more educated on it.
I respect that. I mean, getting educated in your community I can't see the downside.
No. Move.
Well, I believe we've reached about that that part in the show. God damn it. I can't talk this episode. I was going to comment how your intro has been flawless the past couple episodes.
Dude, I think I'm hitting a groove now. It only took fucking a year and a half.
And I think by thinking I've messed up my own tongue.
Yo, shout out to Mandy from Pig Out Bakery. She told me where I could find the new Polar Coconut Lime Seltzerade, because Polar gives, literally zero information.
I've heard that before.
It's delicious. This is easily the drink of the summer. No doubt about it. I will be stocking up as much as I possibly can. I bought two it's like the Seltzerade one, so those come in packs of 8.
Yeah.
So I bought 2 of those right off the bat, because I was like, even if it's bad, I can get through 2 of those. But I also know that there's no way I'm not gonna like this. And it's exactly what I want. So
it's basically Ricky in a can.
It really is. I'm very, very pumped. It tastes like what's that? Is it Malibu? Malibu rum is it's a coconut rum, but it's like a shit coconut rum. Don't drink it. But it tastes fake. It's gross. This tastes like what I would want Malibu to taste like if I was drinking it now as an adult, not as a 18 or 19-year-old, when that was one of the things on the list. My sister's boyfriend's 21. What do you guys want to get? And we were like, Budweiser and Malibu. It's so gross. I hate everything. But yeah, so shout out Mandy from Pig Out. She's the best.
She is the best. All right. So you know also the best? Solon. Solon's the best. Hit us with some good goods, buddy.
Stokes and Pokes, and Stokes and Pokes, Stokes and Pokes, and Stokes and Pokes, banana Stokes and banana Pokes, and Stokes and Pokes, and Stokes and banana.
I'm so pumped I found some of those old ones that he had sent us.
So good.
Yeah. I think there's a couple more. I think that was also just a new one right there. And then we talked about doing that other one. I don't know why I thought of that, but I thought it'd be really funny. We'll see if
I'm all about it.
Also, it doesn't have to be Solon. We work with Solon because he's our homie. If any of our listeners have a Stoke and Poke jingle that they want to send us, record it, send it to us. You know, if it's good, we'll use it. Why not? And we'll give you credit.
Yeah. Do it. It's party.
Hell yeah, let's party. All right, Stokes and Pokes. Well, for starters, I'm gonna poke. Man, I don't know. I guess I'll poke us for quick starts. We are not rolling in it. We have self-funded this whole operation, and we put up merch, and it's awesome. It's so awesome that you guys bought it out already. We're out of stock already on some things, so I'm poking us. We probably should have gotten more on the start. We're going to get more in the store very, very soon. We really, truly appreciate everybody that bought a shirt and bought some stickers so far. More stuff's coming. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. You're the best.
Yeah, seriously. I guess I'll just continue to poke the idiots that are making the mask wearing political and making this whole issue so much worse than it needs to be, mixed in with the idiots that you saw over the weekend protecting their gated community house with the guns. And there's a woman and a guy holding two guns. The woman's holding a pistol, and she has terrible trigger safety because she has her finger on it. I'm assuming the safety isn't on. Very, very fortunate that nobody was actually hurt in that situation.
So stupid.
Yeah.
It's unreal. I mean, like, I'm still the one who like goes grocery shopping and stuff for us, and I understand we are super, super lucky that we live in a region of the country that, or in a state, I should say, that takes it very seriously. For the majority of people here, people are being very smart. I really hope I don't have to like have that conversation with a person who, like, when you walk out of the mask and they're like, pussy, because I'm pretty sure I'll lose my fucking mind. Watching the videos of like the lady at, was it Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or something, like losing her fucking mind over wearing a mask. So I just want to make sure that they remember that when it's your body, your choice, that also, you know, translates over to you know, abortion rights and stuff. So
even the idiot that was trying to walk into Walmart, I don't even know where that was, but he tried to like shove this security guard just to get in, and they're just stupid. Just stop. John Oliver last night had a great point that they should have released MAGA masks, and they should have just like gave them away for free. They missed a whole opportunity to get a bunch of free promotions. Granted, we are no Trump fans, but it absolutely would have got the idiots to put the things on.
Of course.
Whether or not they work wrong. And it's supposed to go over your nose, idiots.
Yeah. I saw a tweet that was like, the World Health Organization like really screwed America over by saying that wearing a mask protects others from you. They should have phrased it as wearing a mask protects you from others, because then they definitely would have done it.
Yeah. Yep, because we're all a bunch of selfish asses.
So insane.
All right, so that's enough negative stuff. I am stoked. I am super, super stoked on the Worcester Youth Center, especially this. Oh my God! All right, I took notes and I can't read them. My eyes. A group of Worcester teenagers. They made an anthem for the coronavirus era. That the song is called "We Want Our Summer." Oh my God, "We Want Our Summer Back." It's a teen circle at Worcester Youth Center. And it's a bunch of young women that wrote a song all about how you should sanitize and wash your hands and how they want their summer back. It's really awesome. Kind of catchy too, like really, really catchy. Boston.com picked up an article about them. They're all over Facebook. And so ever since May 25th and, you know, the changing of everything and how we've been kind of learning more about who's doing what in our community, I learned about what Worcester Youth Center is doing for a whole bunch of people that don't have a lot of resources. So I'm super interested in potentially working with them. I'm kind of in some conversations to help them out on some stuff. And we need to be helping out more organizations like this that are just community focused and are just doing the damn thing.
Yeah, that's dope.
Acta non verba. That's it's the deeds over words. It's like something that hit me over the weekend. I found it somewhere, and I've kind of like now taken that as my own little personal mission.
Cool.
Let's talk more rock. What
there
you got?
All right, cool. So My poke is, like I mentioned earlier, like I really, like I miss going to concerts so much. I really, really, really do. I love going to shows. That's completely impossible right now. It's not a matter of opinion. It is literally a fact. And over the weekend, Chase Rice, who's like this huge country artist, I don't like him. It's that like weird pop country thing. Chase Rice played a show in Nashville that was like jam packed with people. He like posted it on his Instagram story that was like, "We're back." Not a single person had a mask on. It looked like a normal show. There were people on top of each other. Like, it was unbelievably uncomfortable to see the video from it. But it was also wildly irresponsible. Like, the entire touring community is out of work. But, drivers, crew members, the band, the merch guy, the fucking every single person involved in that. And a lot of venues are going out of business. A lot of them will not be able to reopen when this is over. It's a horrible, horrible, scary time. And Chase Rice, like, almost single-handedly just pushed it back even further by being a complete moron.
It's selfish.
It's unbelievably selfish. It's so stupid. Like, dude, what the fuck? It's just unbelievable. I saw that, and it just instantly makes you really mad. I have a fuck ton of friends that are involved in that world, and they are all out of work right now. And then this idiot went and did something stupid like that. It's very, very irresponsible. So fuck Chase Rice. Yeah, that's my poke. I could go on for days on how unbelievably bad it was for him to do that, but
yeah,
whatever.
That's just long story short, it's dumb.
Yeah, he's such a my stoke is Cam Newton signed with the Patriots. Yeah, dude, I'm a football fan, but not a big football fan. It's easily out of like the top 4 major sports. It's my 4th favorite. I don't really care about it. I like watching the Patriots, but I don't do the fantasy thing. I hate football talk, but I had zero excitement towards the Patriots this year, even though like Cam Newton's not as good as he was a couple years ago when he like almost went undefeated and won an MVP and was one fumble away from winning a Super Bowl. He's still so goddamn good, and like the idea of that quarterback, the style he plays is something that we've literally never had in New England, and just it's going to be very interesting to watch. Just the storyline alone is exciting enough for me to be like, okay, I care about football. Something that I literally did not expect to care about. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. The entire world changed last night in terms of like the Patriots and the way they were viewed. And their odds to win a Super Bowl drastically changed. So it's pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
I feel like most of my stokes are going to be sports related for a while, because like where the NHL, the NBA, and the MLB all start at the end of July. So it's like things are starting to
eating with each other. That doesn't make sense to me.
But I agree with you, but at the same time, like, it's clear. This is what drives me crazy about people who don't understand why we're still, like semi-quarantined, I guess. Those leagues all lost billions of dollars, and it still isn't safe for them to play. And like the way they have to play it, they're not going to be making the money from fans. Like there's going to be no fans, obviously, anything like that. But like, even if all you care about is sports, that alone should show you that we're still not there where like things can happen again. They're going out of their way to make things happen. And even there's like a lot of players that aren't going to play. Right. Like Avery Bradley for the Lakers has said like he's not going to join the team. Totally fine. Everybody understands it. It sucks that they're all coming back at the same time, because it would have been great to have them a little staggered. But it just shows like the earliest that any team sports can happen is the end of July. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. And again, we've said it before that like racing seems to be the one that makes the most sense, because their crew sizes are so small. And like 25 guys on an active roster for a baseball league like it's what 40 something for football. Like that's a lot. Yeah, dude, that's a lot of people with trainers and coaches and to keep in a city essentially where they can't go out. They can't. So
they haven't even announced like what the plan for baseball is. Like they're announced when the games start. They announced they're only going to play 60 of them over the course of 66 days, but they haven't said where that's going to be. I know there was like there was a rumor of Arizona being like a spot for baseball, but Arizona is like one of the highest states in the country right now for that. So that's pretty much out of the question. It's almost looking like they might end up having to play in a place like Boston or New York, where coronavirus was like so huge with the first wave, but we've all kind of taken it a lot more seriously than most of the rest of the country.
right.
So it's kind of wild to think about.
And then I would be remiss to not give one last shout out that the Bravehearts are actually coming back, and they're having a season. The Worcester Bravehearts, our local team, I was pumped.
Have they announced if fans are going to be able to go to that and stuff?
So I don't know, but the summer when you visit a Bravehearts game, there will be a new safety precaution. So it seems like they're going to try like hell to allow people to come into the games. Again, they don't tend to have a ton of audience. If you space people out, it's all open. It's no different than dining outside, as long as you're getting people to clean the chairs and whatnot, and you have to wear a mask through the whole thing. All that said, it doesn't really make me want to go. I'm pumped that they started a network for the college league so that you can actually watch the games online. Maybe I'll.
Oh, really?
That. Yeah, I was just on their Twitter.
That's really cool.
So, I mean, they were here first, and I'd love to support them. And we've had Peterman on, and he's a great dude. So I'm pumped to see that those guys can continue the good work they're doing.
Sweet. That sounds awesome. I didn't know you could stream the games. That's pretty great.
I think they did it this year and trying to figure out how to make it work.
Cool. That's rad.
So, yeah, if anything, that's the point of that one is it's rad that people are trying to figure out how to live life and do cool shit in quarantine, because we're absolutely living this way for a while.
Yep. Big time.
All right. Well, you've done it. You've killed yourself another hour and whatever listening to us ramble on. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for the support. Check us out at seltzertime.com. Buy merch, tell your friends, give us a review, and find me on the interwebs at Hunchback Travis.
And you can find me at Seltzer Time. No, you can find me at Wow. Here we go.
There it is. The Ricky I know and love.
Yeah. I started getting like the front end good. Now the back end's gonna suck. You can find me at DickChuck77 or Seltzer Time Official. Follow our Twitter.
Yeah. Keep being awesome, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Sorry for partying.